So today we're going to get started. Today we are talking about, what are we talking about? Marketing and promoting in alignment. If you don't know who I am, my name is Camille Miller. I'm the founder of the Natural Life Business Partnership and pioneer for the Soul Professional Movement. I am a business strategist, which means I help people create businesses in alignment with who they are. A lot of times I'm helping people step down from another career that they've already been in. And other times I'm redesigning businesses to make sure that they're making money and making impact in the world. That's what I do. We have the Soul Professional Business School. We have a whole online community at the NLBP Global Collaborative that I do watch myself and answer questions and try to help out. We have networking the third Tuesday of every single month. I think I recognize some of you from being there this week. And we encourage everyone to keep having conversations and talking to each other. And if you're stuck, just let us know or post a question or something, because I'll go in and actually answer it myself. Everyone good? All right. So when we talk about marketing or showing up in alignment, for anyone that has been to any of my master classes, I feel like I'm always kind of saying the same thing. Like, you have to show up who you are authentically, because otherwise you're marketing to the wrong people, because people can read your energy, right? And you've probably often heard me say there's a lot of people that come out of medical school. There's a lot of people that come out of law school. There's a lot of people that come out of business school. We all come out with the exact same degree, but what makes us different is our unique energy, right? Or our unique specialty, or what makes us unique in whatever way. Like when we need a doctor or a lawyer or a business person, we actually interview them, right? We get to know them. And if you're like me, you're probably creeping around and looking at their stuff way before you're getting in contact, right? So most of your clients, if they're interested in your services, they're probably looking around, they're looking at your online stuff, they're looking at your website, if you do videos or looking at videos, whatever you are, they're trying to get an idea of who you are, your personality, to see if it fits. So they're kind of predetermining if they want to go further and actually contact you, right? So the first step is getting someone to show up to something, right? And that's just by being authentic. And when I talk about marketing and promoting, I'm really not talking about creating a content schedule as much as I am showing up as exactly who you are. So if you're an introvert, do not show up as an extrovert and pretend that you have all of this energy if you don't have it, right? A lot of times I watch people on Facebook and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. You got a great business model, but I could never do it. Right? I don't care how much money you make. There's no way in hell I'm showing up all that much all the time. I would exhaust myself, right? I have to be really careful about how I show up in times. And as I get busier, I actually have to learn to do less because I tire out, right? So I need to honor the rhythms and where I am in life. I was actually just talking to my accountability partner this morning about like what I'm launching. And she's like, what do you need to do right now? I said, honestly, everything in my body and my intuition is telling me that I need to rest. I was like, do you know how hard that is? It's like, I just really need to rest because it's going to be a very big first quarter. So you'll probably see like less of me on social media and stuff. Like today, I'm in LinkedIn pods. I just put up an old post. I put up the same pod. I was like, I'm not creating an old post, and it's okay to do that. So when I say authentically, I mean like if you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. Right? If you don't like doing videos, don't do videos. If you don't like doing Facebook, don't do Facebook. I'm not even on Instagram. Everyone's like, oh, we should be on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram. There's a good chance my people aren't on Instagram. Some people are, and that's okay. But I have never once ever got a client from Instagram. 100% of my business is word of mouth. Someone told someone about me. They saw me somewhere, and it just connects like that. So it's very magical. I don't spend a dime on marketing or ads or anything else. I may in the future, but I don't now. I have in the past, it's never paid off. So I went to more like, if creating content and hiring marketing people didn't change it for me, then what is going to change it for me? And I learned that people just wanted to get to know me better. So for me, it was just showing up more. I tend to spend a lot of my time on LinkedIn, not a lot of the other ones. That's what works for me. I did TikTok for a while. I do have a TikTok problem that I admit to freely. And I watch more people than I do, but we're actually, now my team is starting to break down a lot of my speaking. Like it could be a masterclass, it could be me speaking because I speak all over, and they're breaking those down into shorts and then putting them all over the place, right? Because my energy is what attracts people. Your energy is what attracts people, right? We attract people because of who we are. So people need to feel that energy and to be that energy. If you like doing in-person work, do in-person work. If you like doing video work, do video work. Like you have to be so authentic to who you are, right? And you have to show up how you want to show up to be yourself. Does that make sense? If you like, literally, this is what I do. If I'm working on something, I think I've used this example before. If I'm working on something and I get an inkling like, oh, that would be a really good post, or I should post this somewhere, right? I literally just put a post out. That's how I do my marketing. That's it. Like I'm thinking of something. I was the other day, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know what it was. I was setting up all of this stuff that we're launching. We're launching new communities in 2025. And I was like, okay, but we weren't telling anyone yet. So I just wrote a post. Hey, I'm really excited about what's happening in 2025. And we got all of these things in the works behind the scenes. And I can't wait to put that out there. Right. And that post got, I don't know, like 30 comments. Right. Everyone's like, what's happening? What are you doing? I love watching you. What's going on? Right. And it was just authentic. I was excited, but I knew I couldn't tell anyone. So we just put that out there. Right. If you get client testimonials or people that love you, I call them raving fans. Put that out there. Just like, thank you, and tag the person. Thank you so much for putting this out here. Or giving me this great recommendation, or I loved working with this client as well, or something, right? Because it's natural. That's what's happening. If you're really happy or celebrating a win, post about that. People love to hear that you're having a win. We don't want to hear the negative though. Like when you're having a bad day, we probably don't want to post that. Call a friend for that one. Right? But if you're having a win or feeling good or in the middle of something, share that. People also do very, very well with sharing their personal stories. Like I was hiking today, or here's my family, or things that are actually happening. You're sitting on a beach, you're taking time off, right? I used to do great TikToks about that. I do not do, well, and LinkedIn, I don't share anything that's personal. I don't share a heck of a lot that's personal, but when I tell stories and teach, I talk about my real life all the time. I share my actual, even my failures. My whole second book is about failures I've made in business, right? So I just share it. It's out there because it's authentic, and people can ask about certain things like, oh, I read this about you. Is it true? Yeah, it's true. I screwed up, stuff like that. So being authentic is about your marketing, because then you start to attract exactly who you are. And your client is you 2 years ago. It's you. You're marketing to you, right? I don't use Instagram, so I don't market on Instagram because I wouldn't find me on Instagram. I might find other people, but I'm not finding me because I'm not there, right? I spend a lot of my time on LinkedIn. So that's where I spend most of my focus is on LinkedIn, right? And I talk about, I don't know, just usually soul-based business stuff, right? After this, I could do, oh, I just had a really cool masterclass. This is what we taught. Here's, 5 points you need to know. Doing points, doing things very quickly like that. I think that's a nice thing to do, but it's all about being in alignment. If you are not in alignment, it shows. So, oh yeah, traditional marketing. I feel like traditional marketing, like what we've done is we've stayed in pain points. It's been pushy. It's been very sales focused. Aligned marketing is attraction. It's more soul centered, right? It's coming from an alignment as a foundational principle in who we are in business. It is a foundation of my business. I don't work with anyone who's not a hell yes, right? So my messaging, my content, everything that I put out there is about soul-based whatever I'm talking about. It's about being in alignment. It's about being soul-centered. It's about being authentic, right? The pain points that my people have is usually they're not making enough money. They don't know what their unique genius is. They're creating lots of programs, but no one's buying into them because they don't have a client funnel. But they're all looking for this boundless freedom, because that's why most of us become entrepreneurs, right? We're looking for something that makes our heart sing. That's it. We're looking for something that makes our heart sing. We want to wake up every single day and just love what we do, right? If you're in a job and you can't wait to quit, you're not in alignment, right? Or if you're thinking of something that you have to do, but you're procrastinating and you really don't want to do it and you keep like kicking it down, just I could say just do it, right? But that's not in alignment with who you are. I just filled out my BOI. All of us has to fill out BOIs, by the way. If you're in the United States, I should say. Their owner information, things that the government is getting right now. And I have not done it. I've known for a year. I keep pushing it off, pushing it off, pushing it off. My accountant's like, don't forget to file, don't forget to file. And I've been pushing it off, pushing it off. And I just keep moving it from day to day in my calendar. And I had like this gap because I didn't go to a networking event today because I just didn't feel like it. That's why. And I was like, I'm going to tackle it. I'm doing it. Right. So I watched like a quick video and I was like, are you shitting me? This takes 3 minutes. I moved it off my calendar for 2 months. Literally took me 3 minutes. Went in, did it. And I'm like, wow, that I didn't need to procrastinate on that. But it was also the fear of the unknown. Like, I don't know. Do I have everything? Do I need to change my business address? What haven't I done? It took me all of 3 minutes. It was very simple. The DMV takes longer. So if you're procrastinating and are pulling things off of your schedule, like a lot of people do that with content creation because they hate creating the calendar and then all the graphics and then all the postings. When is it all going? You have to go a little deeper and say, why do I hate this? Is it my time? Do I not believe it? Do I just not like the creative part? You know, and if it's not you, you could always have someone else do it. Right? So you're always staying in alignment, or maybe that's not what you have to do. There's a lot of answers around that. But if it's not feeling good, don't do it. There are some things in business that we just have to do, right? We have to file our taxes. We have to do this damn BOI form. There's things that we have to do, but we can make them easier or give them to someone else to do. I do not do my finances. Right? Month to month, I do know what's happening and I control the day to day. But I have an accountant and a team that does all the hard stuff. You know what I mean? Or like, make sure we watch this number, or have we put away taxes for this quarter? Right? I have someone that does that for me. So I don't have to think about it. That's being in alignment and it keeps me in my highest good, right? You should always be in your highest and best self in your business, right? If where you make the most amount of money is what you should be continuing to do. And you should push down means to delegate or give to someone else, or maybe it's a task you don't actually even need to be doing for someone else. So I want to get back to traditional marketing, I think is really about pushy being sales. And I said, I'm a hell yes, or you're a no. Right? I never convince people to work with me. Never convince people to work with me. Convincing people to work with you they usually hold a grudge when they come in. They're not ready to do the work of whatever your greatness is. It won't come out. You'll be frustrated. they'll be frustrated, right? And when they're a hell yes, it's easy for them to just come in, right? Everyone's happy, a hell yes, and that's when you see like big results, right? So I think when people are very pushy, it's the wrong in this soul-centered world. I think it's completely wrong, and it comes from a place of scarcity, right? When you're promoting correctly and you're being authentic, people are attracted to you easily. They're just attracted to who you are, the people you hang out with. It's just like Donna said, she came to networking. Now she's coming to master classes. She may hang out for a while if she likes the people she finds here, right? That's called attracting. That's client attraction, right? No one's making her be here, but it's just like all of you. You feel comfortable, you stick around, you see what else there is, right? And that's how all of your businesses should be working. It's attraction, right? And then we have a lot of free people that hang out for years in our free. And it's part of my mission to help everybody. That's why we have free, right? That is my mission in the world, to help other people bring their gifts to the world, not that people pay me to do it, right? My mission is to help everyone. Now, I do have premium packages, right? But usually people are asking, am I right for this package? Right? Am I right to move in? And to be honest, I know with my business accelerator, the last one, I actually turned down people and had less than the 5 I usually do because it wasn't the right 5. And I wanted the people that were in there to have greater success. And so it wasn't really about the money. It was about the success my clients was having, right? That's a pillar of mine. I'd rather have the success. I'd rather see success in what I'm putting out there. I also, the pillars of but you should all have core values. I'm calling them pillars. You should all have core values that your business stands on, right? Mine, or NLBP, is really belonging, safety, authenticity are my 3 main, right? We also have purpose-driven innovation and service to others, right? Those are my pillars. So anytime I'm thinking about putting out there, I'm like, okay, are those a part of my core values, right? If I'm on a boundary of a core value, I'm not going ahead with it, right? So I always have to think, is this within my core values? Is this what I'm trying to do, right? We're breaking down our membership right now, and we're going to this community model. It took a while to do that because I'm breaking down something I've had for 9 years to go to this new model, but I felt it better served everyone. This model was better for everyone involved. So we had to move to this model, and I had to close down what was no longer serving us, right? But when you're doing marketing, you want to talk about the transformation people are having when working with you, right? Not, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. Nobody cares. People care about the transformation you're doing. They're buying in to this future self, right? They're buying into the transformation that you're helping them get. Now you can say, I do this through Reiki, or I do Psyche or strategic, whatever, right? That's how you do it, but it's not what you do. Does that make sense? What you do is provide a transformation. If you're a weight loss coach, right? I've transferred, like you can say, I worked with a client that went from like, oh, we won't use numbers. Let's say I like that wanted to lose 10% of their body weight, right? But she gained confidence, self-awareness, better eating habits. Like the transformation wasn't actually the weight. That was a byproduct of doing this other piece. Does that make sense? Right? When I'm saying, well, I can make people go from 5K months to 10K months. That's if people just want the money, that's one thing, it's a marker, but the transformation is really, having a strategic plan, understanding, how to manage time or people or delegate or automate or all of these other things that make their business perpetuate. right? It's not just about scaling, right? I can say, I help people scale, I do, but I don't know if that's enough, right? Scaling is just, scaling from zero, if you're only having 0 months, scaling is $5. You know what I mean? So that, like, I help people scale, I help people achieve joy, I help people, that means absolutely nothing, right? It has to be measurable, it has to be real. And when you show the transformation, a big transformation, like people go from X to Y, I help clients do this. Or, there's many ways to do it when we do pitching. But you want to come from a place of authenticity. You do not want to lie. I'm sure none of you are lying, but you want to be in alignment, right? You should not be doing things that don't feel good, and you should never, ever, ever create from scarcity. If you're creating something because you're not making enough money and you're like, I just got to get something out there, that something ain't never going to sell. Never going to fill, never going to sell. Because you're coming from a place of scarcity, and your energy when you're talking to people is like, please buy this, please buy this, please buy this. I won't make my mortgage. You got to buy this, you got to buy this, you got to buy this, right? And it's that desperate feeling. And people want to feel your energy. They want to become you, right? So if you're showing up confident and strong, people are like, that's what I want. I want that, right? So whatever you're selling, you need to show up as. So in my classes, we have weeks. Well, we have weeks on just finding your unique genius, but we have a whole modular just on confidence. How are we showing up with confidence? What makes us more confident, right? And it's looking at our testimonials. It's like rereading all the things that people love about us and sharing it, right? It's about, we have this thing called victory journals, like, saying every single day a win. Actually, you have to list 3, like wins I've had in my life, big leaps I've taken that proves to me and is evidence that I can keep doing this, right? Those are wins that you've had in life. So that's how you build confidence, is believing that you can do it. If you're coming from a place that I'm not sure I can do this, but I really need some clients, that's not going to really help you. I should also mention with promoting and being who you are, marketing and promoting. But before you're marketing and promoting, one, you have to know the results that you're actually getting, right? You have to really understand your vision, your purpose. You have to really have clarity around the mission and the values of your vision. So we talked about values, like ours are belonging, safety, authenticity, purpose-driven, innovation, service. You really should only have like 3 or 4. We have a big one. I have many brands. And I told you about my mission is to help other people bring their gifts to the world. So when you know that, then you know the next part of that, right? So that's your baseline. Like in our business accelerator, we start with your mission, your vision, your unique value proposition. And we go through the branding, how awesome you are, the confidence, but then we get to a place that's called like pricing and packaging, right? So if you have a lot of things that you're offering, or you're really mushy on what you're offering, that comes across in your energy too. If you're like, well, you kind of can go to this, you might go to this. If you buy multiple packages, you can do this, right? And if you have too many things, there's decision fatigue on the other side, right? So you don't want to be selling a whole bunch of stuff. I always say have like 3 things. I have many brands. We actually sell more than 3 things, but we try not to do it all together. Right. But now I can narrow it down to like, we have the school. You can work with me at one time, or you can be in a community. Now, each of those 3 things, though, have branches. Like the school has lots of programs that you can join. Their communities, there's 2 different membership communities that you can join, and you can work with me independently in a number of different ways. but those basically there's 3, right? And each of those have tiers. But first I have to talk to someone to say, where do you belong? What bucket do you belong in? And then go from there. But if you're not really clear on what your offer is, then all the branding, messaging, marketing in the world won't change how much money is coming to you unless you are super clear on who your person is that you're trying to sell and what your packages are. Does that make sense? And that you have good pricing around it with lots of value. Everyone wants to feel like they're getting a lot of value, right? But if you say, oh, I have this and I have this and I have this and I have this, or, oh, just come for a session and maybe I can do some Reiki, or maybe I can do this on you, or we'll kind of see what happens. People don't want that. People don't want that at all because they're afraid to invest in what they don't know. Does that make sense? Yes. Before I go on, I'm just going to pause because I know I tend to go bleh with all of my information, and I tend to go in tangents a little bit too. Anyone have any questions, examples from their own business that they want answers to, something that's not clear or something they've been doing and they just want clarity around? Anyone? Any questions? Just watching the chat. You can either chat or you can tell me directly. No, everyone's really good. And you know your vision, you know your purpose. All right, let's also talk about email marketing because I think a lot of people do social media. And I want to make sure that social media, whatever channel you pick, and I really believe that you should pick one channel and do that. And then, you know, you can do a couple other things, but there's usually one that you focus on. There's a lot of people that do Instagram and it goes to Facebook. Like I do LinkedIn and I may post it on Facebook, but I have one that I'm really concentrated on. That's LinkedIn. It used to be TikTok. And you don't want to, what I call shout from the mountaintop, or only write stuff that's selling your stuff. I have this, I have this, I have this great new program. I have this, right? People want to see that you add value. So if I'm posting, I do post things that are coming up, right? Our business accelerator is opening up. So I posted this week on LinkedIn. You know, applications have just opened, right? But for the 3 weeks prior to that, I talked about soul-aligned businesses. I talked about creating businesses. I don't know what else I talked about, but I talked about and gave information on how to do it. So a little bit about me, right? Or a client testimonial or something else. So you're adding education and value. You're not just saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, because people don't know anything about you. They're not learning. So part of social media is an education process. You should be putting out educational stuff so people can learn, right? That's why I do these free master classes, right? And then we put them all over the place. But the marketing of it tells people who I am. You guys come here and you learn a little bit about me, what I do, how I do it, what my values are, right? And it takes me an hour a month to go do this. Right? But it is part of my funnel. It's actually, if you go to my LinkedIn page, it says, do you want to come to a free masterclass? Right? Then they can go to a masterclass page. It's a landing page that tells you what I'm doing from now till next year. And if you'd like to come to them, just register, right? They're all free. So people can come and learn about me without me interacting with them. Right? I don't even think I put it out anywhere. It's on my email list, but I don't think it's anywhere else. I could put it out there. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't do it. But you don't want to just keep shouting like, I have this new program. I have this new program. I have this new program. People don't want that, right? They want to get some value from you. And then you can say, hey, I got these new programs coming, right? Makes sense once you give value. Another thing with email marketing, I can tell you a pet peeve that I hate is when people make me sign up for their email list to have a one-on-one with them. And now I'm starting just not to have one-on-ones with them. And they're like, hey, why don't you sign up? I'll be like, because I'm not signing up to your email list. If you want to get on a different calendar, that's great. I'm not answering a bunch of questions and I'm not getting on your email list, right? That is not what that one, a clarity call might be for that, but I would also ask permission to be on a list in a different way. That's my pet peeve. But for your email list, you want to also give people value. You don't want to just put out, I got this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. There are times when you can buy it, right? If you're on my email list, you see a lot of things, but you're also getting the free masterclasses, you're getting our replays, you're getting free networking, right? We have business with heart. There's a lot of other things that are in there. And actually next year we are going to start doing like a business newsletter. So you guys are getting some tips and business tips through everything, every single month. We're going to add that. Manpower has a lot to do with this. I did not have the bandwidth to do it. I have more manpower now. But manpower, as you grow, also keeps you in alignment, right? If you're doing all the things because you're a solo practitioner, you tend to burn out or not stay in your highest genius, right? Doing all the things is not always a cheap way of doing things. If you've run out of time, then you need to start delegating and spending money in delegating or creating systems or automation, right? Automating things makes things much better. Right. So for emails that we're doing, you also want to be authentic. If you could tell stories, tell stories. I will warn you, though, that people do not have a large attention span any longer. So keep them short. Bold what they need to know, but keep it short. People usually don't watch long form videos anymore either. Right. So if you're sending out an email and including a video, it's not likely that people will be watching it. Right? People may show up live. We see that a lot of people don't watch our replays on very much, like our master classes, and everything is starting to come from that. What percentage of your sales have come from email outreach? So I am probably not typical. One, my database is over 9,000 people, right? I've been in business for 10 years. And all of my business comes from personal connections. Right. But that's not to say that I send out an email and everyone buys all of my stuff. Right. A lot of times when you have a program, or even I have very specialized programs, if you're working with me directly, I send out personal invites to people, like for my business accelerator. What else? I'm going to do a mastermind in 2025. Those are invitation only. And I invite people to apply. Doesn't mean I'm going to accept them. Right. So those, my high-end products is a much different strategy than my lower end products. In low-end products or even free, right? I do a lot of free stuff. All I do is send an email. Whoever shows, right? So if it's free, it shows up. But there was a time when I'd give out free stuff and nobody would show up. Right. So that took a lot of curating to that. And I'm sure just because you have something free doesn't mean people are showing up, because people value their time. What marketing outlets do you get most of your sale lead from? LinkedIn and other people. So I work 100% by referral. I do not get from Facebook. I do not get, I also speak a lot and I write books. So a lot of people have come from books. Especially my first book. I don't know why. A lot of people read the first book. I don't think they read the second and third. A lot of people read the first book. So I will say that comes from my first book. Some people follow me for a long time. Some people find me on Google. Like there's no one outlet, I would say, but I really don't track it hard, because the top of my funnel is the free networking and the free masterclass. Right? That's the top of my funnel. How people get there, I could care less. Right? But that's where we're funneling everyone in. So sometimes people talk about my networking and other networking events, and then everyone from that event came. right? And I'll have like 20 new people. And it's because someone else mentioned, oh, Camille's got this great networking event. Why don't you all come? And they'll all come. So that's the top of my funnel. So we should all have some type of funnels that's starting your funnel. That's something we create, my business accelerator. But you need a place where the masses are going without taking your personal time. I'm changing it in 2025, but up to now, since 2020, I have 20 brand new conversations every single month. And I will say that that is the core of where my business comes from. 20 new conversations every single month. That's over 250 people a year, right? And I make connections for other people and people make connections to me. So my relationships, my personal relationships is probably my number one marketing outlet. I don't do a lot of networking events. I do very particular networking events. A lot of that is changing because as I'm growing, I need to be in different groups and I don't have the time to do more and more one-on-ones and people are asking for my time. So a lot of times now I'm like, just come to a networking or just come to something else because I can't do all the one-on-ones anymore. So I'm kind of changing that. But I've had my business for 10 years. I want to make very clear that it was not like this 10 years ago, right? In 2020, when I decided to start having all of those conversations, and here's all of my conversations. I actually write them down, 20, and then I highlight who actually became clients in one thing or another, right? But there's also like little marks on this for follow-up. And do I need to know them in my future? Are they a power partner? Like we won't work together, but we refer clients back and forth. You know, that's all part of marketing. You know, your relationship building and nurturing people that you know in the world is the top of your funnel. Like that is the most important thing you could be doing in your business. With your strategies, the business accelerator, what percentage rate have your clients been able to grow their sales on a yearly basis? And what is the general annual income of your clientele? So my clientele could be, sometimes I work with people at zero, like they're just coming out of something, but they have been highly successful, 6 figures or more in a business already, right? So for my clientele, it could vary. I've worked with people that make over $1 million a year, but I've also worked with people that I'm just designing their business and they haven't made anything yet. So that kind of changes depending. The business accelerator, what percentage have your clients been able to grow their sales on a yearly basis? Some of my business accelerator people, those people are like next level. It could be, it depends on the individual because some are just starting a business, but the idea is to get them to 6 figures very rapidly. So some are leaving full-time jobs. So we have exit plans and we're going like this. Others have left and we're building. So it really, really depends because every single business in that business accelerator is done on what they want out of it, right? So that's why I interview everyone to make sure it's possible, right? If someone tells me, I don't have a business, I want to make 100,000 in a year, I've done it before, that's not a problem. But I have to be damn sure that they're actually going to do the work and they have the skills to do it, right? So the people in my business accelerator, they are successful at what they do. I don't teach them what they're doing. I teach them their business. Does that make sense? Like if you're a great coach, you're a great coach coming in. I'm not teaching you to be a great coach. So it's a little different there, if that makes sense. I see people are dropping off. Does anyone have any questions? Those were some of them. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So everything I do is very, it's very one-on-one. And that's where my business model changed, where I used to just do memberships and I didn't do any one-on-one. Now I'm doing so much one-on-one and I have a high-level mastermind and everything else. Because people are paying they're paying me well for my services. Let's just put it that way, right? So I have to figure out, how do I stay more this in this, right? Someone like my accelerator, I love doing it, but I make sure that all of those people are successful. And I'm also taking the time to introduce them to people they need to know. So they have access to me in that accelerator like nobody else has access, unless you're a one-on-one client. So that's my premium package. All right, so before we end and everyone starts dropping off, I do want to give you a couple. I will put this in. What's the monetary and time investment for your business accelerator? Well, that is a great class. That is a great question, because I'm going to put this in the chat right now. How do I do this? Here we go. This is what's coming up. The Business Accelerator, the application's just opened. Just because you apply does not mean you're accepted into it, but we will have a conversation to make sure if it's a good fit or not. In 2025, we are opening up brand new communities. The first one's called The Nexus, and that's actually a dovetailing of the business school and community. So not only will we have like networking and everything else, but I am collaborating with top coaches and mentors in the field that I am literally paying to show up. They are not just presenting for you. I am paying for them to show up and co-teach with me every single month, where you will also be getting homework and assignments and things to build your business along the way. That is called The Nexus. More information is coming up, but we are having an information call on December 17th. On December 2nd, we will open up all the landing pages. Right now, if you go there, though, it will give you the explanation of what those communities look like. There's one for everybody. And then there's a high-level mastermind that I will be taking about 12 people through for the year. That's the first time we're doing that. And it's mostly for the people that have gone through the accelerator or have a very established business. That's invitation only. The Global Collaborators is our free Facebook group. So if you're not a part of that, join our free Facebook group. You can ask questions, meet other people, and I will guarantee you everyone in there is really, really cool. And then I also dropped our YouTube channel, so you can get conversations like this, all of our master classes and some of the podcasts that I do. I'm ending my personal that's one of the things that I am stopping so I can create space in my life for this new stuff. But I am often a guest lecturer for other people. So those conversations we're going to start to curate and put on the podcast, so people on that same channel, so people can hear me. But if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, it'll all be there. And that's all I got. Any questions about what's coming up or anything about that? Christina, we can jump on a call, and you can also fill out an application if you think that that's going to work for you. It lasts 14 weeks. This accelerator is 14 weeks, and you meet with me every single week. And you also get 4 one-on-one strategy sessions. And you asked about the price. So people pay for my strategy sessions $1,000 an hour. So that's actually a really good deal. But fill out an application and we can always talk about it. You may or may not be a good fit, but we can find out. What else do I got? Next masterclass is in December. Let me see the date. That is also the 3rd. It's the 19th, the 3rd Thursday, because the 4th is Christmas here in the United States. Well, actually, I guess Christmas is everywhere. Oh, it's the day after Christmas, actually. So it's the 19th, and we will actually be doing a year in review. How can you go back on your business, take a look at it, and clean up any mistakes you've made, and how to plan for the year ahead. So that's always like a really good class if you're able to join us. If not, it will be recorded. And hopefully you'll join us for December 19th is also, did I do that on the same day? No, I did not. December 17th is the open house for the communities. But you'll start to hear about that on December 2nd. We're going to start sending out information so people can to learn about that. And that's all I got. Was this helpful for you guys today? Helpful? Good. Good. If I can ever be of service, you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can also post anything in the Facebook group if you're there, and I'm happy to answer it. I do watch it. My staff tells me if I need to go in and answer anybody, and I'm happy to do that for you. So just let me know. Make sure on your calendar is our networking for next month, our open house for next month, our free masterclass for next month, and we also have Business with Heart on the first Monday of every month. And those are all things that are open to anybody. So that's all I got. So thank you everyone for joining me today and being a part of this masterclass. If you have any questions, please reach out. We'll see you soon. Bye everyone.